Stop. Before you brag about how nice and fair you are, ask yourself one thing. If life is so fair, why do the most ruthless people keep getting the best positions, the best leverage, and the best information, while you get picked last, paid less, and overlooked? Why does the guy with half your brain and zero conscience seem 5 moves ahead of you in every room? Why do people keep underestimating you to your face and then using you behind your back? You know the answer already. They're not smarter than you, they're just more honest about how the world really works. They're willing to see human nature as it is, not how school, movies, and motivational quotes told you it should be. Here's the dangerous truth. Intelligence isn't just IQ, or books, or ideas. Intelligence becomes dangerous the moment you mix it with ruthlessness and clarity. That's when you stop being the naive good guy and become the quiet player in the corner who never gets played. Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago. This video is not here to make you feel better about the world. It's here to show you the rules nobody admits they're already using. So here's what you're getting tonight. 10 ruthless lessons that make you dangerously smart. Not motivational fluff, not be-yourself bedtime stories. You're going to learn why you must control how you look before you try to control what is true. Why half measures make more enemies than decisive cruelty. Why being nice is often the mask for being weak. And how to become someone people think twice before lying to or using. And before we go any further, I'll say this clearly. This knowledge is for protection, not for petty cruelty. This is for the version of you that has been lied to, used, ghosted, and left wondering what you did wrong. This is not to make you a cartoon villain. It's to stop you from being a harmless extra in your own life. Lesson 1. Look more dangerous than you are, and be smarter than you look. Most people live backwards. They obsess over being authentically good inside while presenting themselves as soft, confused, and available to anyone. They won't. You know what that means in plain language? The world doesn't have time to get to know your soul. They judge the packaging. They respond to the posture, the eyes, the tone, the boundaries. And by the time they've experienced who you really are, the game is already over. So you flip it. You don't walk into rooms begging to be understood. You walk in as a finished sentence. Your clothes, your stance, your pace, your silence, they all send one message. This person is not safe to disrespect. Not because you're loud, not because you're trying to be scary, but because your energy is closed, purposeful, and expensive. You speak less, you don't over-explain, you don't laugh to fill silence. You let people feel a little uncertain about you. That uncertainty is power. It makes them reveal more than you do. It makes them wonder what's going on in your head. It makes them cautious with how they speak around you. This doesn't mean lying about who you are. It means choosing what part of you the world gets to see. You can be gentle with your family and friends and still be unreadable to strangers. You can care deeply about people and still never broadcast your wounds in rooms full of sharks. The ruthless part of Lesson 1 is this. If you don't manage your appearance, someone else will write it for you, and that story will always place you beneath them. Lesson 2. When you must hurt, hurt once and completely. Most people are nice until they finally explode. They tolerate disrespect, manipulation, and small betrayals. They say, "It's okay, it's fine," 100 times, and then when they can't take it anymore, they burn everything down in one emotional meltdown. That's not kindness, that's cowardice delayed. Machiavelli didn't romanticize this. What does that mean outside of war and politics? It means half punishments create full enemies. If someone crosses your line and you respond with a weak reaction, cold texts, vague attitude, "I'm just disappointed," you haven't taught them anything. A ruthless, intelligently cruel response is not screaming or humiliating them. It's a clean cut. You remove access. You end the friendship. You downgrade the role they have in your life, and you never pretend it's the same again. No drama, no endless conversations. Most people are terrified of being too harsh, so they keep doing tiny emotional slaps that don't change anything. That's how you end up stuck in the same cycle with the same person for 5 years. A dangerous mind doesn't enjoy hurting people, but it understands something most people don't. A single, clear consequence, delivered once, is more humane than a decade of fake forgiveness. You're not obligated to bleed slowly so nobody feels shocked. Shock is sometimes the only language people understand. Lesson 3. Choose respect over love every single time. You were trained to chase love. Friends, family, partners, coworkers. Be likable, be kind, be chill. That script sounds sweet, but it's exactly how manipulators want you to think. They want you to be desperate for approval, so you'll bend, soften, and stay silent. Translate that into modern life. If you force me to pick between people loving me and people respecting me, I will pick respect and sleep just fine at night. Respect doesn't mean people are terrified of you. It means they weigh the cost of crossing you and decide it's not worth it. It means your no is final. It means your time is not free. It means your values are not negotiable because someone is sad today. You can be warm and still be feared in the right way. Feared for your standards, feared for your consistency, feared for your refusal to be emotionally blackmailed. If the answer is no, you don't try to entertain them into respecting you. You pull back. You give less access. You stop oversharing. You take your ideas, your energy, your loyalty somewhere it's not treated like background noise. You will lose some relationships this way. Good. Those were relationships built on you being small. You haven't. You just stopped letting them eat for free. Lesson 4. Never show your full plan, only your next move. Weak minds confuse transparency with honesty. It doesn't. It makes them predictable, and predictable is easy to block. The ruthlessly intelligent person knows this. People can't sabotage what they don't fully understand. So you show them one step at a time. That's it. You don't outline the whole blueprint. You don't tell them how you're stacking skills, networking, saving, or strategizing. This is not about being paranoid. It's about respecting the reality that not everyone around you wants you to win. Some want comforting stories, not your actual growth. Some want you stuck at their level so they don't feel small. When people like that know your plan, they subtly chip away at it. Little jokes, doubts, invitations that pull you off track. A dangerously smart person doesn't give them that chance. You let your results speak, and by the time people realize what you've built, it's already too late for them to stop it. Here's the part that stings. You've probably been on the losing side of all these lessons already. You trusted that people would see your heart, and they only saw your softness. You gave 10-second chances because you didn't want to be mean, and all you taught them was that your boundaries are negotiable. You chased love and lost respect. You overshared your plans and watched them crumble under bad luck that was actually just the weight of other people's doubts and sabotage. None of that means you're stupid. It means you've been playing by rules written for children in a world run by adults who read Machiavelli while you were reading fairy tales. The good news is this: intelligence can be trained. Ruthlessness can be calibrated. You don't have to become heartless. You have to become spineful. You start small. Today, you choose one of these lessons and act on it. Maybe you change how you walk into a room, slower, more contained. Maybe you stop softening your no with 5 excuses. Maybe you quietly cut off the person who's been crossing the line for years. You don't announce your new era, you live it. And the people around you will feel it long before they understand it. In the next parts, we'll go deeper into the remaining ruthless lessons. How to use other people's selfishness as a map. How to turn rejection into fuel instead of shame. how to stay emotionally unreachable while still caring, and how to become the person in the room whose silence says more than everyone else's speeches. But for now, let these first truths sink in. Control your appearance or be controlled by theirs. When you must cut, cut once. And if you are forced to choose between being loved and being respected, you already know which side Machiavelli would stand on and which side your future self is begging you to choose. You've already felt it, haven't you? That tiny click in your brain when you realize, I wasn't stupid. Part 1 cracked the door. Now we go deeper into the lessons that actually make you dangerously smart. Not just aware, not just woke, but equipped. Because awareness without action is just anxiety with better vocabulary. You're not here for that. You're here to change how you move. Lesson 5. Trust selfishness, not stories. People tell you who they are with their mouth, but they show you who they are with their losses. You want to know someone's real priorities? Watch what kind of loss they panic over. Ego? Money? Status? Comfort? This is where Machiavelli is ice cold and 100% right. In other words, people will cry at funerals and then go to war over money. Brutal? Yes. True? Also yes. Think about the fights you've seen. Families tearing themselves apart over inheritance. Business partners smiling through the launch and stabbing each other over profit shares. People will endure emotional pain, but financial or status pain, that's where they show their teeth. A dangerously smart person doesn't get offended by this. They take notes. That's their real God. That's the lever. If a person's entire identity is tied to how they look online, you know they'll trade almost anything to avoid public embarrassment. If someone is obsessed with being the generous one, they'll overgive to protect that image, even when it costs them. If someone worships money, they'll endure humiliation, boredom, and fake friendships just to keep the numbers going up. So what do you do with this? First, you protect yourself. You don't trust someone's loyalty just because they cried with you. You trust it when you've seen what they choose under sacrifice. Do they protect you when it costs them time, face, or money? Or are they only loyal when it's cheap? Second, you stop putting your heart where their wallet is. If you know money rules them, don't build your emotional home in their hands. Third, you design deals that assume self-interest, not fairy tale loyalty. You put things in writing. You set clear terms. Lesson 6. Master the power of the first glance. You've heard "don't judge a book by its cover" your whole life. It sounds noble. It's also one of the most consistently ignored sentences on earth. People judge books by their covers all day. They judge yours. They decide in seconds if you're important, background, weak, dangerous, useful, or ignorable. They don't wait to see your soul. Machiavelli didn't pretend otherwise. That line is your slap in the face. You can scream, "But that's not the real me," all you want. It doesn't matter. If you look scattered, you are scattered to them. If you sound unsure, you are weak to them. If your boundaries are invisible, you are available to be used. So you stop treating appearance like decoration and start treating it like armor. You don't need designer everything. You need consistency. Clean, intentional, and aligned with who you want to be treated as. Your voice doesn't have to be deep, it has to be steady. You also control what you let people see emotionally. You don't bleed in front of everyone and then wonder why nobody respects you. You pick your confidants. You don't vent to coworkers about how lost you are and then expect them to see you as leadership material. You don't tell every new person you meet your whole trauma file. It makes you readable, and readable is easy to control. Dangerously smart people use appearance as a filter, not to impress everyone, but to repel the wrong ones early. When you carry yourself like someone whose time is expensive, time wasters disappear. When you speak slowly and don't rush to fill silence, manipulators get uncomfortable and go hunting for an easier target. When your life doesn't look chaotic on the outside, the kind of people who love chaos lose interest. And that's good. You don't need more drama. You need fewer doors for the wrong energy to walk through. Lesson 7. Be the fox in your mind and the lion in your actions. Most people pick one animal and cling to it like a personality test. Cute, but Machiavelli laughed at that kind of simplicity centuries ago. His advice was brutal and surgical. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. That is one of the most important sentences you will ever hear about power. It means, if you are only strong, you will get tricked. If you are only clever, you will get eaten. To be dangerously smart, you must read like a fox and move like a lion. Reading like a fox means you assume traps exist. You read the clauses. You test how they behave under pressure, under delay, under conflict. You listen when people talk bad about others, because that's how they'll talk about you. You observe who suddenly gets friendly when you're up, and who disappears when you're down. The fox always assumes there's a hidden cost, a hidden agenda, a hidden consequence. Not because he's paranoid, but because he wants to live. Moving like a lion means that once you've read the trap, you don't cower. You step forward with force and finality. Somebody is playing games with your time? You don't send 3 passive-aggressive messages. You end the arrangement. Somebody is underpaying you because they value the relationship? You name your rate and you walk if it's not met. Somebody keeps disrespecting your boundaries? You don't negotiate with the disrespect. You remove access. Lions don't bark. They act once and everyone gets the message. The mistake soft people make is trying to reason with wolves and negotiate with traps. You don't explain to a snare why you'd like not to be caught. You see it and you step around it. You don't justify your standards to someone who mocks them. You enforce them by leaving. That is fox and lion together. Vision plus fangs. Lesson 8. Learn to read loss like data, not like death. You spiral, you replay scenes, you stalk, you over-explain, you beg to be re-included. But if you want to be dangerously smart, you have to flip that script. Loss is not a verdict, it's a message. The ruthless part is this: you don't try to convince them they were wrong. You take the information and reposition. Someone betrays you for a small gain? Good. You just learned their price, and it's disgusting. You remove them from any part of your life where loyalty matters. Someone rejects you for being too much or too intense? Good. You just learned they prefer people who shrink. You stop auditioning for their approval. Someone keeps underestimating you at work? Good. You just got a blind spot you can quietly build behind until your results slap them awake. The dangerously smart person doesn't waste time arguing with loss. They weaponize it. You didn't get the job? You study who did, and you upgrade the gap. You didn't get the relationship? You study what parts of you abandoned to chase it, and you never abandon those parts again. A friend goes silent when you need them most? You don't chase. You downgrade the title from friend to friendly acquaintance, and you reassign that emotional seat to someone else. You know what naive people do? They break themselves to stay in rooms that already voted them out. They beg to keep access to people who clearly don't value them. This doesn't mean you become numb. It means you feel the pain, but you don't worship it. That question is Machiavellian in the best way. It takes you out of victim mode and places you in observer mode. The observer is always more powerful than the character who thinks this one scene is the whole story. In all of this, remember, these lessons are ruthless not because they tell you to hurt people, but because they force you to stop hurting yourself with illusions. It's ruthless to accept that people care more about their property than their principles. It's ruthless to accept that appearances matter more than truth at first glance. It's ruthless to accept that you must be cunning and strong at the same time. But once you accept these things, you stop being the confused, overthinking, overgiving version of yourself, and you start becoming someone very rare, a good person who can't be played. And here's the quiet secret nobody ever admits. The world is safer when good people are also dangerous, when kind people also have teeth, when empathetic people also know how to cut off access, because then power doesn't only live in the hands of the shameless, it lives in yours too. We'll finish the last ruthless lessons: when to pick a side instead of staying neutral, how to build a reputation that moves before you speak, and how to live in such a way that people remember you as the one person they could never quite control. For now, let these sink in. Trust selfishness as a map, master the first glance, be both fox and lion, and treat every loss not as proof you're unworthy, but as data that makes you harder to fool next time. By now, something in you has already shifted. You can feel it. You're starting to replay old scenes with new eyes. That friend wasn't confused, they were selfish. That boss wasn't too busy, they were using you. That ex didn't accidentally breadcrumb you for months, they were keeping you as backup. It hurts, but it also feels clean. Because once you see the pattern, you're not stuck inside it anymore. You're standing above it, watching. That's the moment a regular person starts becoming dangerously smart. Not because you're colder, but because you're finally honest about how people actually behave. Lesson 9. Pick a side or be crushed in the middle. Don't get involved, don't choose, don't offend. Sounds wise until you notice who keeps disappearing when real pressure shows up. The neutral ones. The ones who never take a stand, never commit, never declare who or what they're really with. Machiavelli didn't sugarcoat this. What matters isn't their level, it's their direction. Are they moving? Are they learning? Are they trying to be a better friend, a better worker, a better human? Or are they comfortable being a mess forever and using your sanity as their emotional dumping ground? The first kind you build with. The second kind you love from a distance or not at all. Here's where it gets truly ruthless. You stop trying to fix people who clearly benefit from being broken. Some people live off chaos. It gives them attention, excuses, and an identity. If you drag them towards stability, they will fight you. Not because they're evil, but because your structure threatens their story. A dangerously smart person sees this and lets them go. You don't hate them, you just don't organize your life around them. Machiavelli was savage about human nature, and you need that lens too. He wasn't saying everyone is trash. If you build your life assuming people will always be grateful, loyal, brave, and generous, you are building on fantasy. If you build your life knowing that the average person crumbles, flips, or sells out under heat, you pick your allies differently. You choose the ones who have proven, in small, hard moments, that they don't run when it stops being fun. So you start curating. You edge out the casual haters, the "it's not that deep" crowd, the ones who laugh whenever you talk about something serious. You replace them with people who can hold a real conversation without turning it into a joke. People who respect your time. People who keep your secrets. People who don't disappear when you say no. Your goal is not a giant network. Remember this: your reputation walks into the room 3 minutes before you do. It's built by your past actions, your visible standards, and your visible circle. That's why the dumbest thing you can do is surround yourself with fools and then wonder why no one takes you seriously. Make that announcement expensive. Now we tie it all together. You've heard 10 ruthless lessons, but they're not random. They lock into each other. You control your appearance so people can't casually misplace you. You cut once when you must hurt so problems die instead of mutate. You choose respect over love, because respect protects you even when people are in a bad mood. You hide your full plan, because privacy is armor. You trust selfishness over stories, because incentives are clearer than intentions. You master the first glance, because optics decide opportunity. You become fox mind and lion body, so you see traps and still move with force. You treat loss as data, not death, so rejection sharpens instead of shrinks you. You pick a side, so nobody can use your neutrality against you. And you build a circle that proves your intelligence before you open your mouth. Let's be blunt. This wasn't about turning you into some cartoon villain quoting Machiavelli to justify being an asshole. That's childish. This was about something much more uncomfortable: growing up. Growing up enough to see that your softness has been exploited, that your niceness has been used as camouflage for other people's selfishness, that your love for fairness has been thrown into games that were rigged from the start. The world does not reward the softest heart. It rewards the clearest mind, the one that can love without being blind, give without being drained, and walk away without needing everyone to understand. That's what these lessons are for. Not to kill your humanity, but to give it armor, to give it teeth. Here's your recap in one sentence. Stop trying to win in a world you refuse to see clearly. Start seeing it for what it is: messy, selfish, appearance-driven, fearful. And then choose to move through it with precision instead of delusion. You can still be kind. You can still be loyal. You can still love deeply. You just won't do it cheaply anymore. Now the choice is exactly where it always ends in this channel: two roads. Or you can decide that tonight is the line. From now on, you control what people see, you watch what they do instead of what they say, you accept that not everyone deserves access, and you use these 10 ruthless lessons as a filter for your decisions, your relationships, and your future. If you're done being the honest one who always loses, tap like. If you're ready to become the kind of person they can't play, can't predict, and can't quietly push to the bottom, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment with "dangerously smart" so I know you're one of the few who didn't click away when it got uncomfortable. And send this to the one friend who is too kind for their own good, the one who keeps getting burned because nobody ever gave them permission to grow teeth. Because this isn't self-help. This is strategy. This is war. And you just turned your mind into a weapon.